Welcome to episode 2 of the Mojo MMA podcast, MMA show, whatever you want to call it. Don't ask me what happened to episode 1. Great fights we had over the weekend, though. Let's get straight to them. You want to start on the headliner, or you want to start with the opener?
We'll start with the headliner.
We'll start with the BMF belt and new champion, Justin Gaethje.
Because I thought Dustin Poirier would be able to weather the storm a lot longer, but Gaethje got lucky. I think he just landed lucky because that fight was amazing for as long as it lasted. Like the first round, Gaethje's striking was in boxing and everything was so underrated. Coming into that, everyone thought Poirier was going to knock him out or piece him up in the first few rounds, and Gaethje was putting it on him. But then Poirier landed a good strike in the first round and had him wobbled for a second. And in the post fight, he was talking about what would have happened if he put it on him. What do you think would have happened? You know, whenever he had him wobbled up against the fence, how Gaethje always gets wobbled and he backs up to the fence like that. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I definitely think this new patient approach, because I feel like that's what usually happens with Dustin Poirier fights. I feel like people come in and just like they sniff the blood in the water and they just go for it. And that's what happens every time. Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler, Gaethje the first time. It's just, that's usually what happens. And then everyone's lost it by the end of the first round. But he kept his composure and just, it was a technical knockout. And Gaethje's not known to be a technical striker, so I definitely think that this new change that he's made is what won him this fight and the belt, I guess.
You think it would have mattered if Dustin Poirier put it on him when he had him hurt in the first round, or you think that Gaethje would have caught him still? Because Gaethje always gets hurt, but he does that thing where he kind of baits him in a little bit, kind of like Derek Lewis when I think it was Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah, JDS, that's right. Yeah.
Like this, and wham.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that Poirier should have put it on him when he had him wobbled, or?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think that he could have done anything. So I think if he would have put it on him, I think Gaethje still probably might have caught him in that sequence.
Right.
He's dangerous.
Yeah, I think it was just Gaethje's night. It was his. I don't know. I don't think there was any stopping him like lately at all. That's just a great performance by him.
That was probably Gaethje's. That was his best performance, I think. It was amazing. His stand up was really good, and his timing was insane. On all those counter shots he hit Poirier with, because Poirier came in fast the first 2 rounds. He was marching him down the whole time, and Gaethje was fighting on his back foot, and Gaethje was moving his head. His head movement was good, and he was landing everything.
Yeah. What did you think about the post fight when Usman's in the cage, Usman's in the cage ready to celebrate the win, and then they show the knockout like side by side?
That's messed up. That's messed up.
That is so messed up.
I saw something that said Usman's like, man, I felt that. He's like, that was amazing. I felt that. He's like, you see that? He's like, yeah, man, did I see it? I felt it.
That's all on Joe Rogan, though. Or maybe they told him in his ear that was just, and then they brought it. I don't know. Whoever's idea it was, not a good idea. He was in the crowd cheering, and then he came in the cage after.
That's crazy. The same place in Utah and everything. It's crazy. Leon, the first one against their teammates too. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's move to the co-headliner. And new number 1 contender, Alex Pereira, beats Jan Blachowicz by decision. Oh, did I call it? Oh yeah. My goodness, I knew from the beginning. But that was good. I feel like what happened in this fight was Jan had his idea, but honestly, it looked like he could have carried that through. I thought he was going to carry it through the second, through the third, and just wear on him. But I guess that Salt Lake elevation got to Jan, and just Alex was able to just apply his technique and just be the better striker.
Yeah, one thing I always see that the commentators talk about, like especially Cormier and Rogan, I don't think John Anik has ever said it, but they were talking about the first time that him and Adesanya fought. They were saying, they were like, man, Alex is looking wore out. He's looking torn down. He's looking like he's tired right now. He's gassing out. And I don't think I've ever seen a fight where he's actually gassed out. Because if you watch the 5th round of Adesanya versus Pereira, the first one, he definitely was not tired. He came out there and marched him down the whole round until he got the
Right.
finish.
Yeah.
He was not tired that fight, and he was not even close to tired this fight. And I think what broke Jan down, because I think people are probably going to attribute the Pereira beating Blachowicz and Adesanya not being able to beat him in 5 rounds to Blachowicz being like old or getting ready to retire or gassed out. But I think that he gassed out because of how big Pereira was and how taking him down and wrestling him, how it was to hold him down and holding him down for that whole first round. He lost the first round, Pereira, and then the second round, you've seen how much body shots he was hitting him with. He was hitting him with that low body shot. I think the body strikes and the kicks to the abdomen were wearing on Blachowicz. I think that's what really tore him down.
I think what really tore him down was the leg kicks.
Oh yeah, you saw
from the
that leg
beginning. Yeah.
His leg kicks are insane. How he doesn't even look like he's gonna throw a kick. Like,
Right.
Bam, just barely.
It just right. It covers a small distance. He doesn't load up or anything. It just like springs out and then bam, a big old welt on his leg.
You see the leg kicks landing. It doesn't look like they're very hard, but when you see them make impact, there was a few times you saw Blahovich's like ankle just completely turn sideways, and it was just he was just barely kicking him. He's got some heavy leg kicks. I think that definitely played a role in the teep kicks and then the body shots, the jab to the body.
I feel like the more I watch Alex, the more I feel like he fights like a drunken fighter. Like it feels like he could get knocked out at any moment, just the way he moves, which I don't like. No, Alex.
Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even understand.
It's a weird style.
Like he's not quick. Like his movements are even kind of like just real slow, and he does that thing a lot. He's just sitting there like this.
Right.
And it looks like he's just like super stationary and like heavy.
Yeah.
But I mean, but everything he throws, nothing's like projected, so he lands everything.
Yeah.
You see people were complaining about the decision on that one, but if you look at like the strike accuracy and the significant strikes and everything, I remember it was like the 3rd round. They showed the striking accuracy on Pereira and Blachowicz, and Pereira was like 80% accuracy. That's insane. Yeah,
that guy lands most of what he throws. I feel like people also attribute a lot into takedowns, even when they lead to nothing. Especially like that takedown that Blachowicz got at the end, like
the last minute.
How many strikes did he land? How many submission attempts? He didn't do anything. So I felt pretty confident going into it. So and when I heard it was a split decision, I was like, what? I was like, there's no way that's going straight to Pereira.
Yeah, even the commentators, I was surprised that they actually had picked it right too. They were saying that they thought it was not easy, but if it was a split decision, Pereira definitely got the nod. But he that 4th round and 5th round, I rewatched it today. The 2nd and 3rd round, they were all Pereira. Like the 3rd round, but Blachowicz was landing some good combinations the 3rd round. So I rewatched it, and Blachowicz was like Pereira lands like good 1-2s and jab, but everything that Pereira's doing, he's like constantly walking him down and kicking him and punching him and jabbing him and hitting him with the body shot and the teep kick. And then Blachowicz would like back up, and then throw a good combo and land. And then Pereira would just kind of just shake it off. But it's kind of hard to tell because Pereira he just barely moves. So I don't even know if half the strikes were even landing.
Right. Yeah, the guys made a stone. But yeah, you could see the size difference going in there. That motherfucker's huge.
Yeah,
I don't know how the fuck he made 185 because.
Yeah, and he also gave Adesanya one more L.
Right. Taking Blachowicz down.
I think that's amazing. No, I think it's amazing. I think it's hilarious how Pereira, he knocks him out in kickboxing, beats him twice in kickboxing, beats him in MMA, and then gets beaten. And then instead of fighting him again or fighting someone else in 85, he goes up and beats the only guy that beat Adesanya in the UFC besides him, and he wins.
Right. That's just super impressive for him to come into the sport and 10 fights in, be a champion and the #1 contender in another weight class already.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. All right, next fight on the list. We could probably skip it, but let's not. Bobby King Green against Tony Ferguson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I saw, like, when in the post-fight interviews, or the post-fight press conference, they were talking about if Tony should retire or not. And in my head, after that loss, I was like, damn, he probably should. But then I saw Gaethje and I heard Bobby Green talk about it, and they were like, yeah, he still marched him down the whole time, and he kept fighting. I don't know if I just don't think he should have fought Bobby Green, a good boxer like that. Like, and he got submitted, but that was all Bobby Green's stand up that put him there.
Yeah, I honestly do think it's time for him to retire. If not, if it's not time to retire, give him a farewell fight. Someone
Yeah,
beatable.
yeah,
Someone
yeah. I
not
don't know
on
why
that
they put him
striking
against
pedigree.
killers. They're putting him against killers, like the top five. His last, I don't know how many losing losses he has, like six now
Yeah,
in a
6. He
row.
went 12 and
But
0, and
but
then now
Neil
he's 0 and
Dariush,
6.
yeah, but Neil Dariush, Justin Gaethje,
Charles
Charles
Oliveira.
Oliveira, get some killers. And then of all those people, I think Bobby Green's boxing is like top tier. So I don't, especially after seeing what he did to him. It was just a bad matchup for him. But I mean,
Yeah,
he could probably beat most of the people in the lightweight division still.
yeah.
Not most,
I
I don't know
definitely
about top
think. Go ahead, bud.
10. No, I was just saying I don't know about top 10. I think maybe like give him someone a little lower, I guess.
I mean, maybe it is time to retire because you saw what happened to Frankie Edgar. They're like, oh, we'll give you Corey Sandhagen or Brian Ortega before that. All these fucking killers. And they're, all right, well, let's take you down. Let's take you down. And then bam, he still gets knocked out in his farewell fight.
Well, that farewell fight was not a good farewell fight. That guy, what's his name? Gutierrez.
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez. That's not a good farewell fight. He's good. I don't know. That was just a terrible, terrible fight to make for a farewell fight. Robbie Lawler, Nico Price. That was a good farewell fight. That was like a good stand-up fight. You knew that fight was gonna stay on the feet, and it was gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was still a tough opponent, but I feel like it's so rare that people go out the way he does. I feel like Tony Ferguson's taking like the BJ Penn route. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
Like,
he lost. He got the losses. And then,
right. If you look at the BJ Penn record, it's like he's like 50-50 in the UFC, but that doesn't tell
yeah,
the story of who he was.
Yeah, in his prime, he was the GOAT at the time. So,
Right.
but then
And,
look at the end of his career. I don't really count that though, to be honest, because
right.
he was at his prime. He was killing everybody. Now your favorite fight on the card?
My favorite fight on the card. Which was that? Oh no! Oh no! And we can skip 2 in a row. Oh man!
What are you talking about, Derek Lewis?
No, I'm talking about Mike Chiesa versus Kevin
Oh.
Holland. That's what we. This is the order we bet on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fight that I predicted almost to a T. Except like I had in my parlay, I had Kevin Holland by KO, and I had Alex Pereira decision, and I had Justin Gaethje KO round 4. And then another parlay, I had all the same except just Justin Gaethje and Kevin Holland still by KO. And what's he do? He goes out there against a wrestler, hits him with a knee, drops him, gets on top. He made it look easy. I said in the first episode, but that didn't work out, I guess. But I said Holland would make it look easy. I thought he would make it look easy, and that he would retire Chiesa. And I'm pretty sure, like after the fight, Chiesa took his gloves off,
Right.
and Holland dropped him with that knee, and then it just looked like he kind of gave him the submission to get out of there. I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, that guy hasn't won in a long time. I used to love Mike Chiesa. Him and Cub Swanson, some random names. Those at a point in time, those are some of my favorite fighters. But
Yeah,
damn,
but
yeah,
Kevin Holland's wrestling, his wrestling looked really good.
yeah, it's impressive. I feel like he's always gonna be like not necessarily a gatekeeper, but he's going to beat the people. Yeah, he's gonna beat the people that he should beat, but he's gonna lose to the top of the top.
I don't know. I don't know. He's been getting better. He's only 30 or 31 years old though. He's still really young. I think he's got, I mean, a couple more years of him training in his wrestling defense. His wrestling defense looked good against Chiesa. And Chiesa went toe to toe with Sean Brady, and Sean Brady's good. So I mean, Kevin Holland's wrestling is getting better. Especially he stuffed those takedowns in the beginning. Whenever Mike Chiesa was when he was fresh, That was like the most impressive part of the fight to me. Once I saw him stuff those takedowns, I was like, it's over now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
that
hard
was
to
fun.
deny. That was yeah, that should have poured a bank on Kevin Holland on that fight. With the odds we're at, he looked like a small favorite to win. But man, just looking at it in hindsight, it's like, damn, we should have bet our
Yeah.
bottom dollar on that one.
Yeah,
Oh
the funny
yeah,
part is I had him in every single one of my parlays but one, and I had him KO in every single one of them. That's how confident I was in Kevin Holland to win by KO, and he goes out there and he submits him. Uh, that was still a good fight. I was impressed.
yeah, it was definitely a good fight. All right, next fight on the card. We don't got to go much into it. There wasn't much to it, but Bonfim versus
Hey, you skipped
Giles.
Derek Lewis.
No, that one's next, but it's
Oh
coming.
yeah, no
It's
order we get
coming.
it.
Yeah, there's an order.
Okay.
This
Yeah, that.
one,
I'll let you go ahead.
yeah. So I feel like this guy. I don't know, man. He's such a beast. He just went in there and just did what the odds said he was gonna do, minus 330, and he just came in and delivered, made it look easy.
That's his second fight in the UFC, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, his first fight he made it look easy, and his second fight, him and his brother. I mean that was a good fight. I didn't expect him to run through Trevin Giles like that easy. Being that Trevin Giles has fought so many times in the UFC, I thought that the experience inside the UFC would have played more of a may play more of a part in the decision, but no, he went out there and got it done fast.
yeah. It just goes to show. And this guy's what 15 and no, he's still undefeated. He's just on the tear. I feel like he's gonna be
Yeah,
good coming up, definitely. All right, now to
yeah,
my favorite fight on the card. Here we go.
yeah.
Some
That would be
the other
everyone's
fight that
favorite.
made me some money. Derek Black Lease Lewis fucking knocks out Rogerio de Lima.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was fucking amazing. I was fucking up out of my seat screaming.
Yeah, I was at the hospital with my daughter because I had to take her to the ER just for a little bit, and that was the fight that was on. And watching on my phone, I almost had to just stop watching it, especially after the knockout. Like as soon as he knocked him out, came out the flying knee, I jumped up and I had to walk. I had to go for a walk and pause it, and then I had to rewatch it whenever I was alone. And I was like, his post fight when he got out of his chair, that was that was the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh man, he's finally back. I knew it. I feel like as soon as I saw the odds on this, especially the knockout odds, I was like, oh man, this is an easy bet.
Yeah.
Why is he an
By
underdog?
knockout.
Yeah,
What was
especially by
the
knockout.
odds for knockout?
For knockout, it was plus here. I have it here. It's plus. It
That's
was
insane that
plus
it was plus
two.
anything.
Yeah, it was plus 240 for Derek Lewis by knockout. That's just one of the worst odds. It was probably better odds on like one of the more mainstream ones, but man, plus 240 and he gets it done. That
That's
was
insane.
huge.
That was awesome. His
Uh,
post fight, I didn't think that his post fight interviews could get any better than what they already were, but that was my favorite
right.
by far.
Yeah.
He got his underwear. I didn't see it. They didn't show it. I guess he took his cup out and threw it in the crowd again. That's disgusting.
I didn't see that. I saw he was throwing his gloves in the crowd. I didn't see the cup.
Yeah, they didn't show it. I think it was Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, he's taking his cup off," or someone was like, "He's taking his cup off," and then it showed him throw his cup into the crowd. Someone doing a shoey out of it or a cup, whatever you call it.
Oh, I would have.
That'd be disgusting.
I'd have never ate out of anything else ever again.
Oh my god.
All right, so now we can talk about our bets for last week. This one cashed. If we were able to post it, shit, we could have all made some money. I had
Yeah.
Derek Lewis by KO plus 240 and Alex Pereira by decision plus 525. And combined, I had the odds at plus 2,025. And that's a huge win for me.
Yeah. What was Do you have my winning bet or no for that one?
No, you never sent.
No, my odds were plus 1925 or something like that. I had Gaethje. I just had money line Gaethje, and then I had money line Kevin Holland, and then I had Derek Lewis by KO. And I think the total odds were like plus 1925. That was the one bet of mine that did hit. I had I think 4 bets, but all 4 of the bets would have hit if Kevin Holland won by knockout.
Yeah,
And then there was one where I had Gaethje by round 4 KO, but That was a free bet I got, so I had to put some money on that. Sprinkle some in. I thought that he would get the KO in round 4, being how durable Poirier was. But that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good night of bets for us. Let's see if we can keep it up with this one as we
Yeah, this one,
transition to UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Font. What
yeah,
do you
this
say
one's
about this fight
hard.
night?
This
Do you think it's
one, these
hard?
ones are no. I mean, like it's hard to pick because if you were to bet anything, Corey Sandhagen's odds are like plus or -3 something to win, and it's hard to say if he's gonna win by knockout because Font has only been. I mean, if you were to expect him to win, you'd expect him to win by knockout but with Rob Font, he's been knocked out like once or twice in his career, I think. So I mean, it's hard to put any money on knockout for
Yeah.
Sandhagen. And then the money line doesn't even seem like it's worth it. But I'm definitely not betting Font because I got Sandhagen. But I think if you were to bet on that one, you'd put like a submission in because Corey Sandhagen, he was talking. I don't know if it was his last episode with Joe Rogan or where I saw the interview. He was talking about he's been working his jujitsu a lot. So I mean, if I were to put anything on there, I'd sprinkle in something on Sandhagen by submission.
All right, well, let's start at the bottom of the card first when it comes
Yeah.
to our on-show bets. Oh, let's actually, my fault. Let's go back. You went 4-2 on the week.
Oh
If
yeah.
you placed a $100 bet on each one of your fights, you'd be up 320. Whoa, where'd I go? You'd be up $325. Come on, focus in. You got me. All right, or not. Anyways, you would have won $325. So you're up on me. I went 3-3, 50-50 bet. And
I think what got you was that the Ferguson fight, though, huh?
yeah, I know. Well, I got you too, but
With
the
your
other,
heart.
yeah, I'm betting with my heart too much. But yeah, I still came out positive, plus $55 if you bet $100 on each fight. So we're both up on our fights. We just got to keep it going. All right, so first fight on the main card, we have Ignacio Bahamondes versus Ludovic Klein. And I think this one's gonna be a good fight, but I definitely have a lean on this one. What about you? A strong lean on this one.
A strong lean.
I do.
I don't know. Is it Ludovic? Is Klein his last fight? He had a draw, didn't he? With the backcountry banger. What's his name?
Your boy, your favorite fighter of all time?
What?
No,
Yeah, Jai Herbert. Yeah, he had a draw against Jai Herbert his last fight out.
That's right.
And I mean, Jai Herbert won that fight. So.
He 100%. Oh my gosh, I remember that's the one where they took the point and it was that was ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think on this one I'm gonna have to lean towards Ignacio Bahamondes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just looking into this fight, I just see like Ludovic Klein. He's not bad. He's definitely not the worst fighter, but Jai Herbert exposed him, and Jai Herbert is like such a reckless guy, so easy to take advantage of. I think I have to take Ignacio Bahamondes too, and the odds on this one is going to be -230 for Ignacio Bahamondes, plus 190 for Ludovic Klein.
Yeah.
And next we have two heavy bangers going into this one. Two heavy banger loser trash cans. Tanner Bozier versus Aleska Kamur. Both of these guys. I mean, I was high on Tanner Bozier when he first came to the UFC. Like a tough hockey guy that came in, big guy, heavy hands, missing a tooth.
Did he move down from heavyweight?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
No, I was gonna say, didn't he move down? He fought at heavyweight, didn't he? I thought that his his past fights were at heavyweight.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to even say who's gonna win that one because, how do you say his name? Alexa?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is so new. So I don't honestly know much about him, and we haven't really seen much of him.
Right.
And Tanner Bozier, he's down at light heavyweight now, and I mean, if you had to pick on this one, it's experience versus the new up and coming guy. I mean, I'd probably pick Alexa just because he's new. But I mean, new. I wouldn't predict anything more than just him money line. to win that fight.
Absolutely, me too. I'm also leaning towards Tanner Bozier, but it's such like a you never know. I feel like Tanner Bozier will be a little bit better on the feet, but it's just this fight is just such a close one. If the money was a little better for Alexa, I would definitely lean that way, but it's so close. -148 for Tanner Bozier, +124 for Alexa. I think I'd rather go with more experience, and especially the UFC experience, because it's way different than those little league fights.
Yeah.
All right, next fight. I'm actually go ahead.
I think that this next fight we're probably going to be different.
Maybe. I really like this next fight. I have a heavy lean on this fight too, and I hope we're leaning the same way. I'll let you lead the dance.
So Gavin Tucker and Diego Lopez. So the only fight we've seen from Diego Lopez is the Movsar Ivalov fight.
Right.
Ivalov. And that fight was so good. Like I remember I was watching that and I was talking to my brother about it, and I was like, man, this guy's gonna get murdered by him. And he went out there and he did everything in his power to win that fight. Like he did everything and anything to win that fight. And that was awesome. I love that. And then Gavin Tucker, on the other hand, he's a veteran in the sport, and he's only got 2 losses. So, I mean, it's hard to bet, but he's 37 years old, and Diego Lopez, with him being so young, I'm definitely going to go with Diego Lopez on that one, especially after seeing how well he did against Mosar.
Right. He went into that fight like a minus, or he was like a +700.
Yeah,
and I was like,
dog.
Yeah, I almost wanted to throw money on it, how ridiculous that line was, even though I know nothing about him. But I mean, it would have ended up losing, but still, what a close fight he made that out to be. And Gavin Tucker, he's not a bad fighter, absolutely. He just lost his last loss, or his last fight even, was just versus Dan Ige, and Dan Ige is the beast we know he is. And before that, he was beating guys. He even beat Billy Q, who's also fighting on this card, right? And so we definitely have the same lean. I'm also gonna go Diego Lopez. Just that fight is just so much heart was shown, so much technique. It was just an amazing fight for him. Maybe it was the late switch up, but I don't know. I feel like we might go.
We're gonna be the same on this next one.
On maybe all of them. All right, go ahead. I think we have the exact same bet ready too, but go ahead.
How do you say his last? Instechu? I can't say it. Kennedy versus Dustin Jacoby. Yeah, it's hard to say. So that one, Dustin Jacoby, been in the UFC for a long time. Well, not a long time. He fought way back then, and then left, and then went to Glory. Did you watch the fight? Do you know Dustin Jacoby fought Alex Pereira in Glory?
I didn't know that, actually. No.
Well, Alex KO'd him, but I mean, it was like, for them to be fighting in Glory says a lot about Dustin Jacoby, like his stand up. He's definitely good at kickboxing. And then Kennedy, on the other hand, is very durable, and he can take a punch like a motherfucker. Like with the first fight I watched of Kennedy was against Adesanya's boy. What's his name? You have to look it up.
Yeah, he had a weird name, right? Super weird name.
Adesanya's boy. He was hyped up big time. And you watch that fight, you're like, oh my god, like Kennedy was getting he was getting pieced up, and he came back out of that and won. I think he won by knockout round 2 or round 3. But yeah, that fight was not that impressive, but it showed that he's got heart, and he's determined to win. But then on the other hand, you got Dustin Jacoby, who is an elite kickboxer. He's fought almost the same guys that Kennedy's fought, and it's kind of funny because Kennedy got KO'd by, I forgot the guy's name, but Dustin Jacoby fought him, and then he KO'd him. So, and then they both fought Iwan Kitelaba, and Dustin Jacoby had a 10-8 round. He lost a 10-8 round in the first round against Iwan, and then he came back and put it on him for round 2 and 3. So my prediction for this one is going to be Dustin Jacoby round 2 or 3, because how durable Kennedy is. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say because the reach on Kennedy is like 83
ridiculous.
inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. So I mean, it's gonna be a good fight for sure. I think that someone's getting knocked out or someone's getting rocked at least. And I mean, I'm leaning towards Dustin Jacoby by probably third round KO if I were
Right.
to get or pick.
And when you say he's durable, you just mean he doesn't get knocked out, but he
Yeah, he doesn't get knocked out.
definitely gets wobbled in there.
Yeah,
He
he gets hit a lot too. That's the thing. Justin Jacoby
absolutely.
will hit him. So it's gonna be whether Dustin Jacoby. One thing about him is he will not gas out. Like he won't gas out. Like I remember when he fought Iwan Cutelaba, I put like a $5 bet in or $10 bet on Iwan, and I saw him and I was like, oh, he's done for. And then he just kept getting faster and faster and picking it up, and I was like, oh my god. And they were like, yeah, they were talking about how durable and how he just keeps moving and getting better and better throughout the rounds. And same with Kennedy, he honestly gets better throughout the rounds too. But I think with Kennedy starting off kind of slow and Dustin Jacoby picking it up in the first, second, and third, I think that Dustin Jacoby definitely will come out on top.
Yeah.
And he's an underdog in that fight.
Right. Yeah. Plus 130 for Dustin Jacoby, minus 155 for Kennedy Nzechukwu. But Nzechukwu, I've never seen the W at the end of his name. I never knew it was there. But yeah, with this fight, I'm leaning the exact same way. Dustin Jacoby, I feel like when they're both gonna land, but I feel like with the way Kennedy's just been lucky when he gets hit, it feels like he could be put away any second. And I feel like if there's a guy that's gonna do it, it's gonna be Dustin Jacoby. And so definitely, yeah, if I were to play this, I would definitely play knockout. Not sure what round, so I would just leave it open. Knockout, Dustin Jacoby. I think I looked at the number. It was like, yeah, it was pretty good, like plus 400 or something like that. So definitely, if you're gonna play Jacoby, I would definitely say by knockout.
Yeah, I would just get, if you were to get risky, I'd put like round 2 or 3 because I mean, all of Dustin Jacoby's knockouts in the UFC, I think, lately have been in round 1, but I don't think he's going to be able to put him out just in round 1 because all the fighters that got him wobbled, Kennedy, all of them that wobbled him gassed out in the later rounds, like Iwan Cutelaba. And Adesanya's boy, I forgot what his name is.
Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, Ulberg. Yeah, he gassed out bad in the second round. So I think that Dustin Jacoby not gassing out, putting it on him for 3 rounds, I think third round, he gets him out of there.
Right, yeah, definitely leaning that way. And next fight, do you even want to break it down? I'll go ahead and do it. Looking at this fight, Tatiana Suarez is a fucking monster. She's a beast. She's looks unstoppable. And I don't know. I feel like she's going to go in there and make it look like light work because Andrade is really good, but I feel like she has a puncher's chance in there. I don't think she has a chance if it's going to be a technical fight. I don't think if they both go out there and just have a war that Jessica Andrade will come on top. Tatiana Suarez was out for how long? 3 years?
I think 3 years, and this is only her second fight back.
Right, and just I don't know. She looked good in her last fight versus Montana de la Rosa. And so coming into this one, I definitely could see, because she's a bigger girl than Rose even, and you see how Andrade just picked her up and said like jiu-jitsu don't exist and just slams her on her head. I feel like Tatiana Suarez is gonna get her out of there, maybe by submission. It's only a 3-round fight, so I feel like maybe it's probably possible. Maybe like a 3rd round, 2nd round sub, or maybe I don't even know. Just open round sub. I definitely think Suarez is going to take it. So I'm going to take her minus 375, a disgusting number, but I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, same with me. I'll take Suarez, but I wouldn't bet submission, honestly. I think that Andrade will be able to, especially because the only reason why she got submitted her last fight is because she had a wardrobe malfunction. According to her, she said her top came loose or whatever.
Right.
That's the only reason why she lost her last fight by submission. So I would say Tatiana Suarez by decision probably. That's like the only thing that would make sense. I don't know what the money or the odds are on her by decision are, but I would take Suarez by decision probably, or just take Suarez. But I mean, it's not even really worth it with how much of a favorite she is. If you were to want to sprinkle like a risky bet in there, you take like Jessica Andrade by KO, and then Dustin Jacoby by KO.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying with Andrade.
There was one other fight on here I would sprinkle something
Jeremiah
in on.
Wells.
No, well, I
It
mean that
wasn't.
fight by KO probably, but Cody Durden, Jake Hadley, that one's a good one to sprinkle if you want to make like an underdog one. Like, I don't know if I would put Jessica Andrade KO in there. I would definitely do like Cody Durden decision, Cody Durden by decision, and this is my favorite bet. I think is Cody Durden by decision for like a risky bet, and then my second one was Dustin Jacoby by KO. And because you watch Cody Durden's really good, and Jake Hadley's kind of newer, so and people see that he was undefeated and everything, and they think that like he's unbeatable, but he's just really new and he's really young, and Cody Durden's been in there with some people, and I think that Durden's wrestling will definitely take him out of there. So I would put Cody Durden and Dustin Jacoby by KO, Durden by decision, Jacoby by KO. That'd be a good one to sprinkle some for a risky bet.
All right, yeah, I don't know how we got on the Durden fight, but
oh yeah, but I was just saying Suarez. I think Suarez, but yeah, that would be risky, Andrade, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I got the odds for you. So Andrade by KO TKO is going to be a plus 650. Still, it's a nice number, but I mean, if you're going to play her, if you have faith in her, that's what I would play for her. But Suarez by submission is a plus 120, and by decision is a plus 300. So that's a nice number there.
I'll take Suarez by decision plus 300. I think that's pretty good.
I like her by submission, but yeah, straight up. And in the game we play here, we're both taking Suarez money line. Okay. All right, and the last fight of the night, we already know how you're leaning, so we'll let you go ahead and.
Yeah, I'm sure we both know how the fight's gonna go. I'll take Corey Sandhagen. He's too technical of a fighter, too long, his length. His boxing, his wrestling defense now, his jiu-jitsu, all of it together. I don't think that Rob Font really stands much of a chance to beat him, honestly, because Sandhagen's reach alone is going to there's going to be a huge difficulty for Rob Font to get by. Oh, Rob Font has a longer reach than him. Rob Font's reach is actually longer than him. I don't know why I think Corey Sandhagen's so tall. I mean, tall and lanky.
Oh, he
but
is
I mean,
tall. He saw that's it. Tall.
Yeah. I would still stay. I'm taking Corey Sandhagen.
All right. If I'm honest, I still haven't made my pick yet. In my head, it's just because of the number. I know Corey Sandhagen's a better fighter. I know he's more technical. I know he's. Yeah. But it's just he just beat your boy. He beat the fuck out of your boy. Yes. And yeah, I just rewatched that fight yesterday. I rewatched that fight yesterday and Rob Font, it was not a clean win by any means. It was not a clean win, but he got out there with it and just made it happen. So I feel like maybe I'm go Font.
Damn! Finally, we got one different.
Finally, here I'll take that.
You gotta factor in that Font has been training. He got the fight on a few weeks' notice, and that Sandhagen was training for Umar Nurmagomedov. So you know that. Sandhagen's been training wrestling, and probably a lot of jiu-jitsu, and he's been talking about his jiu-jitsu. So I will say that Sandhagen by submission, whatever the odds are on that would be something to look into, because
plus 600.
Yeah, he's been training to fight Umar Nurmagomedov, and I guarantee he's been training his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu. And I'm taking Sandhagen by submission on that one.
I feel like Cheeto, just going back to Sandhagen's last fight, would have had a chance if he just had more dog in him, more
yeah, he didn't do anything the whole fight. It
fierce, right? It's just Sandhagen couldn't take advantage of it. It's not like Cheeto's a great defensive striker. He's known for his offense, not necessarily his consistency, but his ability to land with power. But it looked like he wasn't even trying. But if you get someone that's gonna try, it's these fucking Bostonians, fucking Rob Font, Calvin Kattar, that are gonna go for it to the last bell.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm gonna take Rob Font. Just the number, it's just pretty for me, so I'm gonna take it. And that's a plus 275 to minus 345. But you just have to think of it this way: if you were to bet $100, would you bet would you bet 345 to win 100 on Corey, or would you rather bet 100 to win 270? You see, that's where we disagree.
I would definitely bet 345. I would
Yeah.
definitely put that. I'm not even worried. I'm not saying that Rob
Did
Font's
I say
not good. But I'm just
245
saying,
minus 345?
oh yeah, I'm not saying Rob Font's not good, but he's 36 years old. He just beat Yanez, which is super impressive, but he's
Right.
coming in on like a few weeks' notice. And Sandhagen's probably been training the best. He's probably in the best shape of his life right now. Like I think that this fight, he's gonna stand out a lot and put himself as #1 contender. Even though he pretty much already is the #1 contender, I think that this one sets it in stone. Like after O'Malley knocks out Aljamain Sterling, it's just destined for Sandhagen and O'Malley to fight with how they're striking. Yeah, I'm taking Sandhagen.
All right. That wraps up our fight night. What we are gonna do now is one and one only parlay. What is your parlay? Break it down for us and give us the odds if you have them. If not, I'll grab them.
All right, you'll grab the odds.
Sure.
Is it a risky parlay or is it just like a
This is your advice. Your advice. What are you betting? What do you exactly? What are you betting?
So I put it into categories. I'll have like a safer one,
I
like
want
a middle
one.
ground, and I got a risky one. But I want to do my risky one just because I want it to be known.
All right. What's your okay? Let's just hear your official. What's your official parlay?
No, I want to do my risky one.
No, that's what you want to play.
Huh?
That's what you want to play. That's what you want other people. If other people only have money for one parlay,
I'm doing my risky one.
Okay, what is it?
Because it pays out the best, and I have a good feeling about it. So if you could just take all the fights I've said already, but I would take. So go ahead and plug this in. I'll take Sandhagen by submission.
Okay.
Sandhagen by sub. Dustin Jacoby by KO, and we'll do Cody Durden by decision.
All right,
that's my favorite parlay.
You're trying to get people to buy a new house. Durden by decision, right?
Yes.
So this is plus 13,025. Disgusting.
Okay, so if you bet $10 on that, what do you win?
$10 to win $1,312.
Okay, yeah, so that's the bet I'm putting.
You're trying to retire people.
If you have one bet to put in, I would say that $10 bet. But then I'm only gonna do my one because I got a safer one that makes more sense. But I mean, Sandhagen by sub, Jacoby by KO, that both looks good. Sandhagen's gonna be like the underdog one, and then Cody Durden by decision is given.
All right.
It's gonna be crazy next time we come on here and you're looking at it and you're like, "Wow, I should have did that bet also."
Yeah, I'm not doing that bet, but
okay,
I'll give you mine. You ready for it?
Yeah.
So we'll go. I'll give you the pick'ems first. We got Tatiana Suarez minus 375. That's an easy parlay piece at minus 375. It's not ridiculous to put it in there. Diego Lopez minus 175, straight up money line against Gavin Tucker. I feel like that's just a gimme fight. Another one, Ignacio Bahamondes. I feel like there's no way. I feel like this is the easiest fight of the card versus Ludovic Klein minus 230. And then I have one more fight. Here we go, an underdog. I'm putting an underdog in there. I got Dennis Bazooka versus Sean Woodson.
You got Woodson, right?
No.
What?
Dennis Bazooka. You know who that is?
No, I don't.
You know where he trains out of?
Probably Dagestan.
No.
Oh, where?
He fights out of the Sarah Longo team. You can never go against those guys.
I would definitely not even do that one. I would not put that one. Sean Woodson.
Well, if you look at it, Sean Woodson's weird body built self is
he's got an 8-inch reach on it, 6.5-inch reach on him.
Doesn't matter. If you look at it, he's had what, 2 or 3 opponents just drop out in the last couple weeks, and then bam, opportunity for Dennis Bazooka. He actually fought on the Contender Series, lost a unanimous decision, which could have gone either way, and then he goes on a tear fighting in New York City. But yeah, if you look at the guys out of the Sarah Longo team, just the active ones, you have Aljo, Marab, Nas, who just fought last week, Weidman, who's coming back. He said what? I don't know if he's active, but yeah. Yeah, if you look at those fights, fighters. It's just the people that come out of that camp are hungry, and I feel like Dennis Bazookia will get it done. So this is my parlay. It pays plus 653, nothing ridiculous. A $10 bet pays out 75.39.
Yeah, you'll make 75 on yours, and I'll make 1,000 or whatever it was on mine.
Yeah, I don't think you're making that.
Yeah, but if you sprinkle $10 on that, you lose $10. Just don't eat one meal. Skip one meal. Don't go out to lunch one time. And you could risk 1,000. You could risk making $1,000.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll be sitting here next week and you'll add $1,000 on a small bet. Yeah. All right, now let's get to some real fights. No more of this UFC nonsense. Jake Paul.
Oh my god.
What's his name? The Golden Child? I don't know. Is that his nickname? That sounds right.
Serial risk taker.
What the hell? I've never heard that in my life. Takes on Nate Diaz this weekend.
Chael Sonnen said. I think Chael Sonnen said that at their press conference. Serial risk taker. It's pretty true, though.
I've not seen any of the build up to this fight. But we have Jake Paul going against Nate Diaz in a boxing match this Saturday in Dallas. How do you have this going down, pal?
I have a strong opinion on this one that no one's gonna like. I wasn't even gonna say my opinion because everyone's gonna be like, what? But I mean, my opinion on Jake is that he's a good boxer, first of all, and that he's new and he just started boxing 5 years ago. He just started training boxing 5 years ago, and he's already as good as he is. And people hate on him. I don't know why, because he makes a lot of money and because he's good at boxing. He's not allowed to be good at boxing apparently. But Nate Diaz, on the other hand, he went out of the UFC with a win over Tony, and he looked good. So I mean, you can always count on Diaz to do two things: it's come in shape, not talk shit during the press conference, and smack people around. So I mean, I don't even want to predict. If I were to predict this one, I'm saying over 7.5, and I'm not giving a winner on who wins, but over 7.5 rounds, because you already know which way I'm leaning on that one. I don't know why. The money must have been really good for Diaz to take this fight, but I don't know. After seeing Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, those guys go in there and just get obliterated by Jake Paul, I don't know why anyone else would want to. I mean, I'd go in there and fight him. For
that amount of money, absolutely, huh?
But I don't know. You get knocked down from your whole family and friends. Hell no. I definitely think that Jake deserves respect, though, as a boxer. I think he's a good boxer. He has good fundamentals. He trains constantly. He eats healthy. He does everything right because he can, because he's rich. He's got money, so he can do everything right. The only thing that he lacks is a storyline where he came from nothing, from the favelas in Brazil, or he came from the freaking rainforest like Pereira. That's the only thing that he lacks is the cool build-up story to where he started out on Disney, and everyone's like, oh, he started at Disney, he can't be good at boxing.
Yeah, if you look at this fight, minus 425, huge favorite Jake Paul against Nate Diaz is a plus 310. I think looking at this fight, it just scares me. I honestly, I don't think. Yeah, I love Nate Diaz. I've always loved Nate Diaz since the beginning, but I don't know what to do with this. Jake Paul by KO is a minus 150. That's a disgusting number. I would never play that in my life.
I wouldn't play that, but I also wouldn't play around with it, thinking that it's not going to happen. I would just say over 7.5 rounds and just put it that way.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet. But yeah, I definitely don't think if Diaz gets knocked out by Jake Paul, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, don't show up next week. I'll take over.
Yeah, I'll take Diaz by knockout. Plus 600.
That's your bet?
Yeah, that's my official pick.
What is over 7.5 rounds?
It's over 7.5 minus 125.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking that. Because if Jake does knock him down or knock him out in the first round, it's gonna be like Tyson Fury, where he came from the dead, like the Undertaker. He comes alive out of the middle of nowhere, and he's gonna stand back up. And I was watching sparring footage of Diaz, and I kind of liked the way he was. He's doing a lot of the hugging and stuff, and wearing him down, wearing out the pro boxer that he was sparring. He was holding his arms down and stuff and messing with them, doing all this stuff, like distracting him. I liked that, but over 7.5 is a pretty good bet, I think.
I like the technical knockout, just like a TKO. I feel like it's exactly how it's going. He's gonna wear on him. Diaz doesn't get tired. This guy does. This guy doesn't look like he's in tremendous shape, but this guy's fucking. I don't think I've ever seen him tired before.
Yeah.
In a UFC fight where you get wrestle fucked, but I know boxing's definitely just as tiring. But I definitely, if you're gonna take Diaz, I say by TKO is a good one because he usually wears guys out to where they have nothing left in the tank, and then it's so easy to get stopped when you have nothing coming back in return when you're exhausted. And I think we've seen Jake Paul tired, but who's been active with him besides Tommy Fury? And then when you see when he's Tommy Fury presses him, he tends to throw less towards the later rounds.
Anderson Silva put it on him a little. Anderson Silva kept moving forward, and that fight was good. Like, he came forward to the last round. And Jake Paul's his cardio it stood up. So I mean, it's gonna be a match to see. The deciding factor is gonna be whether Diaz can stop that right hand of Paul, that right overhand, and if Diaz can drag it out to the later rounds and get Jake Paul tired. But I mean, I think Jake has a lot of heart, so he didn't look like he was very tired in a lot of his fights.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what happened, but we will see. All right, one more thing before I let you go, Joe. We're only gonna do one of these. We'll do some more next week, maybe one every week. But this is I found this: the odds to be champion on the 31st of December in 2024.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start with the heavyweights. Who do you think's the favorite?
To be
champion on December 31st, 2024.
That's the easiest thing to ever. Just John Jones.
That's incorrect.
He's not favorite. He's not favorite.
He's not the first. He's not the first or the second favorite.
That's what's gonna happen. But I'm assuming the favorite is Sergey.
Sergey Pavlovich plus 175 is the favorite to be champion on that day. Number 2. Let's see if you can get number 2.
Cyril Gane.
Nope.
What?
Cyril Gane's number 5.
Oh, Jailton Almeida.
Jailton Almeida's second favorite plus 225.
Yeah,
and then third, John Jones. Fourth, Tom Aspinall plus 550. Cyril Gane's plus 850. Stipe 6th at plus 1,000, and then everything after that, we don't really got to talk about.
One thing on that is why that's not going to work out is they're going to have Jailton and Sergey fight, I think, because that's the only fight that makes sense right now. Sergey doesn't have a fight lined up, and Jailton
Tom Aspinall.
doesn't. And then, Tom Aspinall just fought, so I don't think they're going to put him in another fight right away. So I think that they're going to end up making Sergey versus Jailton, and it's going to ruin those odds because, I mean, one of them's going to lose. It's going to be Jailton.
And you think the winner of that? I don't know. John Jones at a plus 450. That's crazy. I bet people are just assuming he's going to retire.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? That makes it. I mean, he has a fight. He signed like a 5-fight contract, but I mean, everyone knows after he beats Stipe, he's gonna dance off into the sunset, as he should.
All right, what's your official pick?
John Jones.
John Jones. That's insane because that is my pick too.
Yeah, obviously.
I feel it's just tough because I feel like Stipe is gonna win the fight, and then they're gonna rematch, and then Jones will beat him the second time, and then that's how that goes down. But
yeah,
I feel like if Stipe wins, he's either losing to Jones the second time or he's retiring. So I don't think he'll be around December 2024.
Yeah, I could see that happening because I mean, if I was Stipe, you're the GOAT of the heavyweight GOAT. You beat John Jones, you're not gonna fight again. None of those other names are worth it. No one like Sergey, he's like kind of newer. Tom Aspinall kind of is newer. Like those guys, they're not gonna give some young, hungry guy a chance to dethrone their legacy after they built it up from the way Stipe did, especially.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's not possible though, Jones, but Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, kid. Good episode. We'll get this one uploaded hopefully, and then next week we'll be live.
All right.
All right. For Joey, I'm Antmo. We out.